Okay, today we're going to work on this 2002 Thunderbird. We're going to do a valve cover gasket. There's nothing on YouTube about these, so we figured we'd film it. Hopefully it turns out alright. So here we go. Some of this we've already taken off, the air intake and whatnot. Also the covers for the plugs for the coil packs. There's 6 bolts here, they come off. I'll post a thing on how that works. Alright, first step, we're going to remove obviously the battery cable's already disconnected.
Yes.
We remove the air cleaner tube. We're going to take this reservoir out. That needs to come out of the way. And then we'll disconnect the crankcase ventilation tubes. This is out of the shop manual, so I'll kind of go step by step with that too. Here we are on the car. These are 10mm bolts. There's one on the top and one down here on the side. That smaller bolt on the side, well, that is a smaller bolt. It's an 8mm instead of a 10. So 10 on the top one up here, and then 8 is the one he's taking off now. Alright, next step is to take this bracket off that's on the strut tower. There's 2 bolts, which is right, if my camera will focus, right there. Those 2 bolts, and we think they're 10mm. This we've already done, where we take the 6 bolts out for the coil cover, which exposes the coils. And then we'll take the wiring harness off next, and then also get the coil packs out. Alright, the step we're at, we're going to take these coil packs out. And there's little 7mm bolts down in here, and these little plugs. The plugs you just push and they just pulls right off, like so. So we'll get those out and we'll jump back in. Just like so. It's probably the easiest part of the whole project. Alright, next step, there's these little clippy things that hold this harness on. Then there's some connections to the fuel injectors, which we have to unplug. So this just slides up out of the way, like so. Alright, next thing, which we already did, is to get these wiring harnesses out of the valve cover. Also take these coils out. You see that? And there's a nut in the back side that holds the wiring harness, just so you can move it out of the way. And that is this right here, right there. And that is actually it's that one down there. Looks like it's 8mm. Excuse me, 10mm. Alright, it's actually this one. That's the bolt. We undid this other little one because it looks like it needs to come out anyway. So that harness will lift up. So that's a 10mm. Next we're going to take the coil packs out. Those are a 7mm wrench. There's a picture of the whole page for the procedure.
Let's see. Wow.
Okay, here's the reason why we're doing these. See all the oil and whatnot? That's what's causing a misfire. That's actually water and that, it looks like.
Yeah.
So we're going to check it out. Alright, so just to recap, took this off first. So we took these covers off for the plugs. There's a harness bolt back here that has to come off, and these 2 over here, just so you can get the wiring harnesses out of the way. All of the coil packs are out. We're just getting ready to take the valve cover off. This little harness needs to just kind of come up out of the way. And there's some injector plugs we haven't undone yet. They're just up under here. I'll do that right before we do it. These are all 10mm bolts. There is a sequence to take them out. which is right there. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, now hang on, we're excited. Here. So good? We're good? Alright. Alright, so here's our valve cover off. We're going to replace all those seals and put it back. Alright, here's the valve cover with the gaskets in it, all the little O-rings and such. So we're going to put this thing on now. Okay. Alright, so the valve cover's back in place. We're going to go through and torque it down. There's a sequence for that, same as what it was before, taking it apart. One of the installation sections, there's some silicone that we had to put where the timing cover meets the head. And then now it's just tighten these up, and it says 89 inch-pounds or 10 Newton meters. Okay, so everything's torqued down. Really just reverse of what we showed you as far as putting it back together. Thanks for watching.